This is my Red Cinema camera. It was released in 2011 for a whopping 35,000 US dollars for just a brain part. Nowadays you can pick up a whole kit for more like 3,500 US dollars. And that is exactly what I did about a year ago. But why? Also, I did lie to you a little bit, but we'll get into that later. And well, as you will see, despite being 13 years old at this point, it actually keeps up surprisingly well in 2024. Now, do you have to be an absolute idiot like me to buy one of these in 2024, despite there being similarly priced options like the C70 or the FX3, or even cheaper ones like the FX30? In a way, yes. The downsides to this are that it is an absolute brick, so it's really quite heavy. And also it has absolutely no autofocus in an age where autofocus is better than ever. Now for me, I like to play with cinema lenses and just improving my focusing skills, but it certainly can be quite impractical. Now for the weight, I also weirdly like that actually. First of all, it's a great workout, and I'm just kidding, but it does help you shoot handheld. It gets rid of a lot of those micro jitters, and that just, handheld shooting just looks much nicer with a more heavy, grounded camera. Also, despite looking kind of intimidating, it is dead simple to use. It has a lot fewer menu options than most modern mirrorless cameras. Now, remember earlier when I told you I lied? Well, this isn't actually the cheapest Red Cinema camera on the internet, but it's the cheapest one I would even somewhat recommend you buy. There's also the Red 1, which is actually an ancient brick. Then there's also the Scarlett MX, which is essentially the same camera, but with less computing power. So it has a bigger crop factor and fewer frame rate options for not that much less money. Would I actually recommend you buy one of these? Probably not if you're relying on it for work. Get a C70, get an FX3, it makes more sense, let's be honest. But if you're an idiot and you just want to play with it, welcome to the club. I'm certainly not going to stop you from buying one. I have really enjoyed shooting with this and just, picking up an actual cinema camera, learning the ins and outs of it. So if you're that type of person, maybe not the smartest financial decision, but go for it. Okay, but wouldn't it still be smarter to buy a C70 or an FX3 for that price? Well, honestly, probably yes. See, I'm a photographer. I only do video stuff for fun, and that's why I got this. I've always wanted a Red, and well, they're finally cheap enough to where I could just pick one up and play around with it. And so far, I haven't regretted it, but I also don't rely on it. But here's the thing, right? This thing still shoots 5K up to 120 FPS in 16-bit RAW. That is almost unbeatable for that price point. Yes, you lose some of the modern features, the comfort features, but the quality from this is outstanding. Dynamic range-wise, while it is behind more modern Reds or REs, it actually keeps up with something like a Sony or a Canon. And here's the thing for me, right? I don't know what exactly it is, but it's some weird combination of highlight roll-off and colors that actually makes this, a Blackmagic or an RE, look so much better than what Sony or Canon or any other brand are doing. Like I said, I can't really explain it. It's highlight roll-off and colors, and somehow those brands have figured it out. The ones that actually call them cinema cameras, not even Canon in their cinema, like the C70 doesn't even do that. I don't know what it is. Okay, got a bit sidetracked there, but yes, if you spend enough time in color grading and you know what you're doing, you can match a C70 or an FX3 to this perfectly, probably. It's the straight out of camera thing, that the ease with which you can color grade this footage that I just love. Anyway, I'm a little bit sick, so I'm gonna end this here. Subscribe, please. Thank you. See you next week.